a collective in a way. You're saying, okay, we saw it the other day with Iñaki Echevarria. He was presenting the way what happened with the airport in Mexico City when it was stopped, the project, and then many things happened. It's very difficult to say what was better. To complete the airport or to allow it to become this kind of ring, and which had many amazing things happening, but also there was some conflicts, right? So your question is very relevant, and I would say it's one that we have to stay with rather than try to simplify. I don't think there's a way to claim purity as an architect. All the projects that we've seen are projects that don't have a solution, and claiming externality to them could also be a privilege. Could also be something that, I mean, who can say that it's not going to work when you need to pay the rent and everything? Like, we cannot ask anyone to do that. I mean, we can ask to make decisions and to be to be consistent with the things that each one is trying to do and try to do that. But ultimately, it's very difficult to find a possibility for purity in the conflicts that we're dealing with. But it doesn't mean that things cannot be addressed and change cannot be done and alternatives cannot be activated and defended. I think, for instance, in many of the projects, there's already a change of focus. And many times, the first part of the project is identifying other communities, other realities that somehow could be on the table when decisions are made. That's not minor in a way. I would say, for instance, the work on toxicity that some studios have been doing, and in particular the work that Julio and Sharon have done, it's very interesting because it's not happening on a tabula rasa. It's basically happening on a city that, as Lydia reminds us, is sending the poo, right, in the poo train to Alabama, right, every day. And the possibility of retaining part of that in Newton Creek is already making a change. Also acknowledging that a city like New York deals with toxicity and needs to deal with toxicity locally, not sending it to someone else, is a big change. It's the opposite of Michael Bloomberg era of the blue sky and the. So I think and so that means that this could, if it's successful, somehow create alternative that would be transforming also cities like New York. Somewhere there was a moment that people thought that it was a good idea to send the pollution of New York to Susquehanna Valley or to, and it ended up being a reality. That means that in places like Susquehanna Valley, the life expectancy went down. I would assume that what Julio and Sharon are doing will have an impact, definitely at one point, somewhere at one scale, and that would mean maybe that there's a change in how this sacrificability is distributed. But your question, in a way, I would say we have to infrastructuralize. What are the tools, what are the strategies that we can have to discuss how we operate ethically, knowing that it's impossible to do that in a kind of situation of purity, right?
Very good.
I'm kind of reluctant to jump in, but I just have to acknowledge